Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT Geek YouTube channel. My name's Shabazz, and as ever, I am the IT Geek. So I had a bit of a gap between my videos just because, well, life has been busy. Busy with work, busy with family, school holidays, things like that. But we are back we're back on the SC-100 Micro Cybersecurity Architect exam topic series. I think we've just finished topic 10, so we're on the kind of topic 11 and we've got up to topic 15. So hopefully over the next month or so we can get this call complete, get the series complete, and allow you guys to hopefully use this content to pass the exam. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. So as I mentioned, this is topic 11 part 1 today. We're starting off, and this is the Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect exam topic series, the SC-100 exam. So this topic 11, is designing solutions for securing organizations' data. So we're going to do a bit of an introduction to data security, and then we'll talk about designing a solution for data discovery and classification using Microsoft Purview. And we'll do a quick demo of Purview, just to give you an idea of the new portal first of all, but also again, because the SC-100 sort of labs that you'll find on GitHub, which you can find in the description, there are more use cases and case studies. I'm just going to give you an overview of Purview in this video, and then we'll get a bit more detailed as we talk about different parts of Purview, in these episodes. So a bit of an introduction into security. Specifically, I want to talk a little bit about, so this is data security, so let's talk about some Azure data best practices. So for anyone who's kind of done the fundamentals of Microsoft security, you'll know protect data, key management, securing workstations, and sort of securing email, docs, and sensitive data are kind of key sort of pillars within that area. So I want to talk some best practices about Azure data first. So when you're protecting Azure data, so to help protect data in the cloud, you need to account for sort of possible states in which your data can occur, and what controls are available for that state. So best practices for Azure data security and encryption relate to different data states. So we've got data at rest first of all. So this includes all information storage objects, containers, and that sort of type that exist statically on physical media, whether magnetic or optical data, optical disks. We then have in-transit data type. So this is when data is being transferred between components, locations, or programs. It's in transit essentially. So an example is transferring over a network across a service bus, from on-premises to cloud or vice versa, including some hybrid connections, including express route or site-to-site VPNs, or during an input-output process. We have key management, so it's important to choose the correct key management solution. So protecting your keys is essential to protecting your data in the cloud. Azure Key Vault helps safeguard cryptographic keys and secrets that cloud applications and services use. Key Vault streamlines that key management process and enables you to maintain that control of keys that access and encrypt your data. Developers can create keys for development and testing in minutes, and then migrate them to sort of production keys. Security administrators can grant and revoke permissions in keys as needed as well. So here's some of the sort of best practices that I wanted to talk about for using Key Vault. First, one of them is grant access to users, groups, and applications at specific scopes. So using Azure RBAC with predefined roles, for example. Use Azure RBAC to control what users have access to. An example is if you want to grant an application access to use Key Vaults, you will need to grant data plane access across access permissions by using Key Vault access policies, and no management plane access is needed for that application. When we want to secure workstations, so make sure you're managing with secure workstations. Because the vast majority of attacks target the end user, the endpoint becomes one of the sort of primary points of attack. An attacker who compromises the endpoint can use a user's credentials to gain access to the organization's data. Most endpoint attacks take advantage of that fact, and the users and administrators in the local workstations as well. Some best practices is use a secure management workstation to protect sensitive data, sensitive accounts, tasks, things like that. So this could be using a privileged access, or what we call a POR, privileged access workstation, to reduce the attack surface in workstations. These secure management workstations can help you mitigate some of the attacks and ensure that your data is safer. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about securing email, docs, and sensitive data. So You want to control and secure email, documents, and data that you share outside your company, your organization. And Purview is that cloud-based solution that's going to help the organization classify, label, and protect its documents and emails. This can be done automatically by administrators who define rules and conditions, or manually by users, or a sort of combination when when users get recommendations. So Microsoft recommend that you deploy Purview for your organization, and we're going to take a look at that in a demo. They recommend you apply labels that reflect your business requirements. An example is apply a label named highly confidential to all documents and emails that contain top secret data to classify and protect that data. Then only authorized users can access it as well, and with any restrictions that you might specify. And they configure usage logging in Azure as well, so that you can monitor how organizations are using that sort of protection service. So I want to talk about designing a solution for data discovery and classification using Microsoft Purview now. So this is this image you've probably seen on Microsoft Learn, and essentially the Microsoft Purview architecture. So I want to talk about some of these data products here, data catalog, data map, and stuff like that. So let's start by data map. So Microsoft Purview automates data discovery by providing data scanning classification for assets across your data estate. Metadata and descriptions of discovered data assets are integrated into sort of holistic map of your data estate. Microsoft Purview Data Map provides that foundation for data discovery and data governance. It's a cloud-native PaaS service that captures sort of metadata about enterprise data, and it presents in sort of analytical and operation systems, both on premises and in the cloud. Data map is automatically kept up to date with sort of built-in automated scanning classification systems. And business users can configure and use data map through sort of intuitive user interface. And developers can programmatically interact with it using open source Apache Atlas 2.2 APIs. Microsoft Purview Data Map powers the sort of Microsoft Purview Data Catalog, and the Microsoft Purview Data Estate Insights that sort of and the data policy as a unified experience within that whole information protection piece. Let's talk a little bit about data estate insight apps now. So the Microsoft Purview Data Estate Insights, this is the sort of the chief data officer and the other sort of governance stakeholders in your organization can get a bird's eye view of their data estate and sort of gain actionable insights into governance gaps that might be resolved from sort of experience or over the course of time. We then got data sharing app. So this enables organizations to securely share data both internally and across organizations with business partners and customers. You can share or receive data with just a few clicks. The data providers can essentially manage and monitor data sharing relationships and revoke sharing at any time. Data consumers can access received data with their own analytics tools and run sort of data into insights as well. So the data policy app as well is something I just want to go over. So this is a set of central cloud-based experiences that help you manage access to data sources and data sets securely at scale. So you can manage access to data sources from a single pane of glass, which is like cloud-based experience. You can enable that scale sort of access provisioning as well. And it seamlessly integrates with Microsoft Purview Data Map and Catalog. And it's based on role definitions that are kind of simple and abstracted as well, like read, modify, for example. So just before we jump into the demo, we'll talk a little about defense in depth from a Purview perspective. So talk about network security first. So Purview is as we know, is a PaaS platform, and you can enable multiple security capabilities for your Purview accounts, including enabling sort of end-to-end network isolation using sort of a Purview firewall. You can deploy NSGs as well. You can implement Purview with private endpoints, all managed by sort of a virtual network virtual appliance, such as Azure Firewall, something like that. You've also got the access management. So identity access management provides that sort of basis of a large percentage of sort of security assurance. It enables access based on identity authentication authorization controls in sort of cloud services. These controls protect data and resources and decide which requests should be permitted. It's related to roles and access management in Microsoft Purview. You can apply multiple different security best practices, including defining roles and responsibilities to manage Purview in control plane and data plane. You can assign roles to Entra groups instead of assigning roles to individual users. and you can use sort of entitlement management as well. You can enforce MFA for Purview users, especially for users with sort of privileged roles, such as collection admins, data source admins, or sort of data curators. Okay, so ready for the demo now. I'm just going to jump into the new Purview portal, show it around, just show you some of the features, and then as we go more in depth into some of these different features like Preview, etc., I will do an overview of them as well. So again, this is not something that you're going to find. This demo isn't, or this lab that we're going to do isn't really going to be in the exam, but I think it'll give a good overview and try to hopefully hit home some of the theoretical topics we're talking about. So please join me in the demo. Hello and welcome into the demo portal. So we're in the Microsoft Purview portal. This is a new and improved Purview portal. I'm a massive fan, if I'm honest. I really like it. It seems easy to navigate. So we are starting to look at data protection, and although we're not specifically looking at anything, we've not spoken about anything specific. We mentioned Purview, but I thought it'd be good to do an overview because Microsoft Purview is a sort of data governance, data security, and compliance sort of platform for Microsoft Cloud. And it'll come up a lot in the exam, I believe. So the various features, we've spoken about some of these already. We spoke about data catalog, we've got the information protection, the data loss prevention, insider risk management, and AI Hub, which is in preview. We'll be talking a lot more in detail about information protection, data loss prevention, insider risk management as well. And some of the things we've taken outside, so this used to be part of the Purview portal, but now it's got its own portal, which is Microsoft Preview. Obviously, Entra and Microsoft Defender are big parts because they integrate quite a lot with Purview. But just like the data catalog, we spoke about this and the different sort of data map and stuff like that. So here's where you can actually browse your different source types. You can browse the subscription, add blob storage, and it'll give you, you look at actions here. You can look at the details of this. Again, it'll just tell you if you go dig deeper down into the actual container. It'll tell you about all the records that are found. If you have any, I don't actually have any much information in. If I'm honest with you, I just have some sort of some blob storage reviews for sort of testing. But then we can look at sort of from an Azure subscription level, look at my MIT Geek, and we can look at all these different resource groups I've got. Again, no records found, so I won't really have any records, but essentially you can search by different source type, depending on all your, you can look at all your sources and look at Fabric Workspace if you have that as your storage account, etc. We can look at the business glossaries as well as data sharing, and look at shared resources and shared sources here. And you can add a new share to look at that as well. As we go back, you've got your information protection. So this is where all your sensitivity labels. We are going to be looking a bit more in detail at sensitivity labels and sensitivity policies in the next video. And from here, you can look at your sort of data lifecycle management, your data explorer, content explorer, and activity explorer. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time here because we are going to be looking at this again. Again, we'll look at more detail about DLP and data loss prevention when we get to that sort of part in the theory. Got your classifiers, your trainable classifiers, your sensitive information types, as well as your EDM classifiers as well. And again, the same sort of data explorer and content explorer. And then we've got our insider risk management. Again, you've got sort of your insider risk management recommendations here. You've got your policies and your forensic evidence as well. So this is very good for doing investigations into insider risk. And here, you can see here, I've already got a policy that I set up in another demo. As we go along, and you've got your AI Hub as well, which is currently, it's obviously now AI Copilot, stuff like that being used. This is the sort of, it's in preview, but here it just tells you, to get started, you need to make sure you've got Activate Purview Audit, which I have done, need to install. So it tells you what you need to do to sort of enable this, give you some recommendations there. So it was just a quick overview that I wanted to do because, again, we're going to be delving into the sort of compliance a bit more deeper as we go through the various, the remaining modules. So yeah, loads of useful links in the description. The link to Measure Up's exam, sort of top, the practice exams. They are the sort of official Microsoft partner. So it's got some discounted SC-100 exam topics, and you can have a look at those and try purchase that and do some practice exams. Always good to for your preparation. Also a link to the GitHub repository where some of the case studies are for the SC-100 exam, but also all that Microsoft Learn and stuff like that as well. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and thank you for continuing to support. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. So thank you, until next time, goodbye.